I know you are tired, my darling. Tired in a way that sleep alone doesn't fix. Tired of trying to feel better. Tired of chasing one more achievement, one more good day, one more perfect moment so you can finally relax. I want you to know, very gently, that there is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken because your moods go up and down. You are not failing because you can't stay positive all the time. You are simply a beautiful, sensitive human being who has been asked to run at a speed that your heart cannot sustain. You don't need another prize to be okay. You need a place inside where you can breathe. You see, the world has sold you a very exhausting idea of happiness. It told you happiness is something you earn when you perform well enough, look good enough, have enough, achieve enough. So you run, and maybe you do touch those peaks for a moment. The promotion, the compliment, the new relationship, the like on a screen. And then almost immediately, your mind whispers, what if I lose this? What's next? How do I keep this going? And suddenly the happiness that felt so wonderful becomes fragile, like a bubble you are afraid to touch in case it pops. When you believe that you must stay at the top of the wave to be okay, every little dip feels like failure. No wonder you are tired. You're not just living your life, you're chasing your mood. Happiness, in the way most people talk about it, is like the weather. It comes, it goes. There are sunny days when everything feels light and bright, and there are cloudy days and stormy days, and days when the sky looks flat and gray. That is not a sign that you are doing life wrong. That is simply how moods work. Anything that can go very high can also come down again. That is nature. The problem is not that happiness rises and falls. The problem is that we cling to the peak and make it mean something terrible about us when it passes. I was happy yesterday, and today I am not. That must mean I messed up. That must mean I am broken. No, my darling, it only means the wave moved. Waves are supposed to move. There is something deeper than this kind of happiness, and I want us to talk about that. Peace. Peace is not a constant smile on your face. Peace is not never feeling sad or angry or scared. Peace is the ground underneath all of that. Peace is the place inside you that stays steady even while the weather of your life changes. Peace says, I can be disappointed and still be kind to myself. I can be grieving and still hold my own hand. I can be anxious and still remember that I am not alone. Peace does not demand that you get rid of your feelings before you are allowed to rest. Peace invites you to rest in the middle of them. I like to think of peace as the love you offer your own nervous system. You are not meant to win at life by becoming harder and harder, more and more tense, more and more armored. That only makes you brittle. You heal faster when you soften. Your whole system repairs itself more easily when you are not constantly yelling at yourself inside, be happy, be happy, be happy. You do not have to force yourself to feel joy on command. What you can do is choose peace again and again, gently, which means choosing not to abandon yourself when joy is not available, choosing to stay with you. Now, the mind likes to argue with this. The mind says, well, If I don't chase happiness, I'll just be miserable. I have to keep thinking about what went wrong so it never happens again. I have to predict every possible disaster so I can prepare. I have to judge myself so that I'll improve. We think we are protecting ourselves, but mostly what we are doing is stretching out the suffering far beyond the moment that caused it. Very often, people are not suffering from what is happening right now. They are suffering from what their mind keeps replaying. There are 3 very common ways the mind extends our pain. The first is replay. Something unpleasant happens. A conversation, a mistake, a disappointment. And instead of letting it be one scene in the day, we turn it into a movie that plays on a loop. We lie in bed and hear the words again and again. Why did I say that? Why did they say that? What should I have done? Each replay makes your body believe it is happening all over again. No wonder there is no peace. The scene never ends. The second way is prediction. The mind jumps into the future and writes terrible stories just in case. I'll probably fail. They'll probably leave. This will probably fall apart. I know how this goes. We imagine disasters to try to protect ourselves from being surprised, but what we really do is live through pain that hasn't even happened yet. Your poor body is reacting to a movie that is not real. The third way is the inner courtroom. You become judge, jury, and executioner of yourself and of others. I was wrong, they were wrong, I'm always wrong, they're always wrong. You replay the evidence, you rehearse your arguments, you keep the trial going for years. There is no closing statement, no rest. The mind thinks that if it can just find the perfect verdict, you will finally be safe. But you are not a case to be closed. You are a person who needs kindness. Now, here is the gentle key. A thought is not a permanent fact. It is a sentence in your mind. It's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. You do not have to wrestle your mind to the ground to have peace. You don't have to shout affirmations over your feelings until they go away. All you need to begin is awareness. I'm replaying. I'm predicting disaster. I'm putting myself on trial again. That moment of recognition creates space. You step back half a step, and in that half step, peace has room to enter. You can say to yourself, right now, this is just a thought. I don't have to follow it down the rabbit hole. You can imagine the thought as a cloud passing through the sky of your mind. You notice it. There is the replay cloud. There is the what-if cloud. There is the self-judgment cloud. And you let it drift instead of climbing on board. Feel the difference between I am this thought and I am the one noticing this thought. The moment you become the noticer, you are already less caught. You have given peace a little chair to sit on in the room. Peace does not come from controlling every thought or feeling. Peace comes from allowing what is here to move through you instead of locking it in a box. You can allow your sadness to be here without building a 3-hour story about what it means about your entire life. You can allow your anger to rise and fall without sending angry messages or attacking yourself. You can allow your fear to tremble in your chest and still breathe and still take the next kind step. When you stop demanding that your inner world be neat and tidy at all times, you stop fighting yourself. And when you stop fighting yourself, a softness appears. So, my darling, you don't have to chase happiness around the room like a frightened bird. You can sit down, feel your own body, notice your own thoughts, and choose peace in this moment. Not forever, not from now on, just this moment. One breath where you say, I don't have to fix everything before I'm allowed to be gentle with myself. One breath where you let the story loosen its grip. That is how peace begins, not as a grand achievement, but as a series of tiny permissions to be here as you are and still be worthy of love. My darling, there is a very small doorway to peace that most people step over all day long. It is so simple, the mind usually dismisses it. The tiny pause between two breaths. We think we have to rearrange our whole life to feel different, but very often all we need is 10 conscious seconds. Not 10 perfect seconds, not 10 mystical seconds, just 10 seconds where you come back from the stories in your head and notice, I am here. In those 10 seconds, your nervous system can receive a completely new message. I am not in danger in this moment. I am allowed to soften. You have no idea how powerful that is, because most of us spend hours, days, even years sending the opposite message to the body. We are not safe. We must hurry. We must fix everything right now. 10 seconds of the opposite begins to change the pattern. You don't need a special room, music, or ceremony. You can do this on the edge of your bed, in the car before you turn the key, in the bathroom at work, in the kitchen while the kettle boils. Let me walk you through a little 10-second practice we can record together, slowly, like a gentle friend talking you down from a ledge. First, if it feels comfortable, allow your eyes to soften. You don't even have to close them completely. Just let your gaze lose its sharpness, as if you're looking at the horizon instead of a tiny screen. Notice your jaw, let it unclench. Let your tongue rest. Let your shoulders drop just a little. There is nothing to earn in this moment. Now, take a slow, easy breath in through your nose. And as you breathe in, you quietly think or whisper, I am here. Feel the air coming in as proof. You are here, in this body, in this moment. Not in yesterday's argument, not in tomorrow's decision, just here. When your lungs feel comfortably full, don't rush to exhale. Let yourself rest for the gentlest little pause. It doesn't have to be long. Even 1 or 2 seconds is enough. In that pause, say inside, I allow. You are not forcing the breath. You are not gripping it. You are allowing yourself, your feelings, your life to be what it is for this moment. I allow means I don't have to fight this second of my life. Then slowly breathe out through your mouth or your nose, whichever feels natural, as if you are sighing out a long day. As you exhale, think, I let go. Imagine the breath taking with it a little of the tightness in your chest, a little of the pressure in your head, a little of the I must fix everything right now. Let your shoulders soften, your eyes soften, your belly soften. One breath, I am here. Pause, I allow. Exhale, I let go. You can repeat this 2 or 3 times or just once. That is enough. These 10 seconds are not about becoming some perfect, peaceful person. They are about giving your body a small taste of safety. Over time, those small tastes accumulate and your system begins to trust. Oh, we know how to come back. We know how to touch peace, even in the middle of the mess. Now, where does this little pause belong in a busy life? Everywhere. Before you answer a difficult message, you can take one I am here, I allow, I let go breath. So you are responding from your center instead of from your trigger. Before you make a decision, even something as simple as, do I say yes to this invitation? You can pause 10 seconds and check in. What happens in my body when I think about yes? What happens when I think about no? Your body will tell you a lot if you give it space. When your heart is pounding, your chest is tight, your head is spinning, 10 seconds will not magically erase the situation, but they will remind you, I am not just this panic. I am also the one breathing through it. I want you to remember something very tender. Peace is not a treasure you have to go out and hunt. Peace is not hiding on a mountaintop or in somebody else's perfect life. Peace is a habit of returning to your breath, returning to your body, returning to the thought, in this moment, I can be kind to myself. Every time you choose that little pause, you are laying down a new pathway in your nervous system. You are teaching your inner world. We don't always have to go to maximum alarm. We have another option. That is how peace slowly becomes more familiar than turmoil. Now, let's talk about some very practical ways you can find and protect your peace in everyday life. Think of them as 5 soft tools, not rules. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to feel a little more held. One of the most powerful choices you can make, especially in relationships, is to choose soft over right. The ego loves to be right. It will drag you through 100 arguments, sleepless nights, and imaginary speeches just for the satisfaction of feeling, I won that. But have you noticed how often you win the point and lose your peace? When your whole body is tight, your chest hurts, and your mind is still rehearsing what you should have said, that is not victory. That is exhaustion. A sign you are sacrificing your peace for being right is when you feel you must prove yourself, justify yourself, or have the last word. You may notice a surge of energy, the urge to send the message, make the call, deliver the speech in your head. In that moment, you can ask one simple question: do I want peace or do I want to win? There is no judgment here. Sometimes you will still choose to speak up, and that is healthy. But this question brings you back to your deeper priority. If what you really want is to feel calm, to sleep tonight, to like the way you treated yourself and others, then it may be worth letting the argument be smaller than your peace. Choosing soft does not mean you become a doormat. It doesn't mean you lie or pretend you agree. It means you decide how you want to show up. You might say, I see this differently, and that's okay. Instead of listing all the reasons the other person is wrong, you might decide not to send the angry paragraph, but to wait until your body feels calmer and then speak your truth. You might even decide that the most peaceful thing is to say less and step back more. You can support this choice with a gentle affirmation. I choose gentleness. I do not need to win to be worthy. Let that sit in your heart. Your value does not rise and fall with every debate. Another way to protect your peace is to look at the volume of your life. Many people think they have a motivation problem, but what they really have is a noise problem. Too much information, too many notifications, too many conversations, too many goals. Your nervous system was not designed to handle a constant stream of news, opinions, and demands all day long. When there is no quiet, your inner world cannot digest your experiences. Everything piles up inside until you feel anxious or numb. Peace is often less about doing more and more about allowing less. Less noise, less input, less pushing. I would love for you to give yourself one small, quiet pocket each day. 15 minutes, if you can manage it. It does not have to look like formal meditation. It simply means no conversations, no screens, no tasks. You might sit with a cup of tea and look out the window. You might lie down on the floor and let your back soften into the ground. You might take a slow walk without headphones, just listening to the sounds around you. At first, your mind may protest. It will say, "This is a waste of time. We should be productive. Let's check something. Let's plan." That is okay. You don't have to argue with it. You can just notice, ah, there is the noise habit, and come back to your breath, to the sensation of your body in the chair, to the feeling of your hands resting on your lap. Those 15 minutes are not about being good at relaxing. They are about sending yourself the message. I am allowed to exist without performing. I am allowed to have moments where nothing is demanded of me. You might be surprised at what begins to happen when you lower the volume like this. Thoughts that were tangled start to sort themselves out. Emotional knots loosen. You find that you can hear your own inner voice, the one that whispers instead of shouts. It might say, "This situation has been hurting me more than I admitted." Or, "I really want to rest tonight instead of going out." Or, "It's time to ask for help." Those are important messages. They are very hard to hear in a constant storm of noise. So, my darling, peace is not something better people have and you don't. It is something you can choose in small ways. A 10-second breath between two thoughts, a decision to be soft instead of right, a 15-minute island of quiet in a loud day. Every one of these choices says to your body, your heart, and your mind, you matter. Your well-being is important. You are worth calming down for. And as you keep choosing peace over and over, you will discover that feeling better does not have to be harsh, dramatic, or forced. The softest way is often the fastest way because it brings you back to the one place you can truly live, right here, with you. And there is another very gentle doorway into peace that I want to open with you now, my darling. The way you speak to yourself inside your own head. Most people think their inner language is just the truth, that the voice that barks, orders, and scolds them is simply reality. But it isn't. It's a habit. It's a tone you learned somewhere along the way and kept repeating until it felt normal. If you wake up in the morning and immediately hear, "I have to, I must. I'm already behind. I shouldn't have. I can't believe. It is no wonder your body feels tight before the day has even begun. That inner voice is not just describing your life, it is shaping your experience of it. Your self-talk is the atmosphere you live in. I want to invite you into a very loving experiment, changing the way you talk to yourself from problem language to self-care language. Problem language sounds like this: I have to do this, or else. I must not fail. I'm late. I'm wrong. I'm bad. I've messed everything up. It is hard, tense, and full of pressure. When you speak to yourself this way, your nervous system hears, we are in danger. We must rush. We are not enough. Your shoulders go up. Your breath goes shallow. Your mind starts racing. It is very difficult to feel peace when your inner tone is that harsh, even if nothing terrible is happening in the outside world. Self-care language uses many of the same facts, but it changes the posture of your heart. Instead of, I have to finish this now, you might say, I choose to give this my attention for the next little while. Instead of, I must stop being like this, you might say, I am learning to do this differently. Instead of, I'm late, I've ruined everything, you might say, I'm going to do the next right thing from where I am. Do you feel the difference? Both voices see what is happening, but one attacks you while the other stands with you. One says, you are the problem. The other says, you are a person who deserves support while you handle this situation. The subconscious mind responds to tone more than content. If you tell yourself, I must, I must, I must, you send the message that you are under threat, that you cannot be trusted to choose, that you must be pushed. Over time, you either live in constant tension or you rebel and shut down. Because nobody can live under a drill sergeant forever, not even inside their own head. When you change, I must, to I choose, you tell your system, I have some power here. I am not a victim of this day. I can decide how I respond. When you say, I am learning, instead of I'm such an idiot, you tell your system, I am in process, and that is allowed. You do not have to bully yourself into growth. You can love yourself into it. I want you to try something with me. Think of one area of your life where you often hear pressure words, have to, must, should, too late, not enough. It might be work, parenting, health, money, or relationships. Now, imagine that someone you love very much, a sweet, sensitive child, is in the same situation. Would you stand over them and shout, "You're late again. You always mess this up. You should be better by now"? Of course not. You would probably say something like, "All right, darling, we're a bit behind, but we can start now. Let's take it one step at a time. You're learning." That tone is what I want you to start giving to yourself. I talk to myself the way I would talk to a child I love. This is not sentimental. It is extremely practical. Your inner child is always listening, and she relaxes when she knows she is safe with you. You might begin catching yourself during the day. When you hear, I have to get this perfect, you gently pause and say, wait, I choose to do my best, and it doesn't have to be perfect to be worthy. When you hear, "I must not feel this way," you soften it to, "I am learning how to stay with myself when I feel this way." When you hear, "I'm behind everybody else," you can say, "I'm on my path, in my timing. I will take one kind step from here." At first it may feel strange, as though you are lying to yourself. You are not. You are simply dropping the drama and choosing a kinder angle on the same reality. You are moving from inner punishment to inner partnership. And there is something else I want you to understand very deeply. You cannot have peace if you live with no shape around your life. Peace is not just a feeling. It shows up in the structure of your days. I call that structure boundaries. Boundaries are not cold walls to keep love out. They are warm doors and windows that let in what nourishes you and gently keep out what drains you. When you are always available, always saying yes, always fixing, always soothing, always rescuing, there is simply no room left for your own nervous system to rest. The body cannot relax if the phone could ring at any moment with one more crisis you'll say yes to. Many of us learn that to be good is to be endlessly accommodating. We were praised for being the one who stayed late, who listened to every problem, who lent the money, who took on the extra work, who never complained. And sometimes, of course, we do want to be generous. But when there are no edges, no closing hours, your peace has nowhere to live. You become like a house, with all its doors propped open day and night. Anyone can walk in with any request at any time. After a while, you don't feel safe in your own home. So, I want to offer you something very simple and very powerful. 3 boundary sentences that are soft, honest, and kind. The first is, "I need some time before I answer." How often do you say yes because you feel put on the spot? Someone asks, "Can you do this? Can you come? Can you help?" And before you can even feel what you need, your mouth has already agreed. This little sentence gives you a pause. It honors your right to check in with yourself. You might later come back with a yes or a no, but already your inner world has received a new message. My timing matters. I am allowed to take a breath before I decide. The second sentence is, "I can't do that today." Not, "I'm a terrible person if I don't." Not a long explanation, not a list of excuses, just a simple, honest limit. "I can't do that today." You might be able to do it another time, you might not, but even saying it once begins to put a gentle frame around your energy. It tells your nervous system, we are not an endless resource. We are not available 24 hours a day for every request. Notice that you are not attacking anyone. You are not saying, "How dare you ask me?" You are simply stating a truth about your capacity in this moment. The third sentence is, "I'm choosing what is good for my health." This can apply to physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. You might use it when someone wants you to stay out late and you know you need to sleep. You might use it when you are tempted to agree to a stressful project you don't have room for. You might use it when you feel guilty for resting, and you need to remind yourself, this is not laziness, this is care. When you say, "I'm choosing what is good for my health," you shift the story from "I'm selfish" to I am responsible for this one precious life, and I am tending it. You may worry that saying no, asking for time, or choosing your health makes you a bad person. But my darling, saying yes to everything does not make you loving. It often makes you resentful, exhausted, and secretly angry. That energy leaks out anyway in your tone, your body, your moods. Healthy boundaries are loving for you and for others because they mean that when you are present, you are truly present, not half present with a full plate and a clenched jaw. Saying no does not make you bad. It makes you safe. Safe with yourself. Safe to trust that you will not abandon your own needs for every passing request. Think of your peace as a small, tender flame inside you. Without boundaries, the wind of other people's demands, expectations, and dramas blows straight through you all day long. Sometimes you can keep relighting the flame, but it is hard work. Boundaries are like a lantern around that flame. They do not hide your light. They protect it so it can shine steadily. When you say, I need some time before I answer, you are closing one side of the lantern. When you say, I can't do that today, you are closing another. When you say, I'm choosing what is good for my health, you are placing the lantern where the wind is softer. The flame can grow instead of constantly fighting not to go out. You may find it helpful to practice your new language and boundaries in very small, low-risk situations first. You might start with yourself. I choose to stop working at this time, instead of I have to push until I drop. You might start with a trusted friend. I can't talk about this right now. I'm tired. Instead of forcing yourself to be available. You might even practice in writing, texting. Let me think about it and I'll get back to you. So your body can experience what it feels like to honor its own pace. These small experiments will show you that the world does not collapse when you protect your peace. In fact, many things become easier because you are less depleted. As your inner language softens and your boundaries become clearer, something very simple begins to happen. Peace has space to exist. You are no longer whipping yourself on the inside while being stretched in every direction on the outside. You are beginning to treat yourself as someone worth protecting, someone worth speaking kindly to, someone worth pausing for. And that, my dear, is what I call choosing peace over the endless chase for happiness. You don't have to get this perfect. You will still catch yourself saying, I have to, or saying yes when you wish you hadn't. When that happens, please don't use my words as another stick to beat yourself with. Simply notice, I fell back into an old pattern. That's okay. I am learning. Then try again next time. You are not here to be flawless. You are here to become more loving with yourself. Every gentler sentence, every small boundary, every tiny pause is a step toward a life where peace is not a rare visitor, but a familiar friend. Imagine that inside you there is a little room that belongs only to you, not a grand palace, not a perfect spa, just a simple, warm, quiet room. I like to see it with soft light, perhaps a comfortable chair or a little bed, a blanket folded over the side, and a window that lets in just the right amount of gentle morning sun. This room is always clean in the way the heart understands clean. No shouting, no judgment, no heavy expectations hanging in the air. Only presence, only kindness, only the sense that whoever walks into this room is welcome exactly as they are. This room is not in a faraway place. It is in your chest, behind your ribs, just a breath away. You carry your home with you in your own heart. For so many of us, the room we live in on the inside does not feel like that at all. It feels more like a crowded train station with announcements blaring, people pushing, times to meet, tasks to remember. Or it feels like a courtroom, accusations, defenses, old evidence dragged up again and again. No wonder you feel tired, anxious, or restless. If the inner atmosphere is always on high alert, the body never gets to rest, and peace never gets to sit down. What I want to offer you is the idea that you can renovate this inner space. You can turn the courtroom into a quiet room. You can turn the train station into a little sanctuary. You do not have to wait for the outside world to calm down before you create calm on the inside. Let's take a moment and begin to feel that room. If it's comfortable, let your shoulders soften just a bit. You might even place one hand on your chest, right in the center, as if you are knocking gently on a door. Take a slow breath in through your nose, and as you breathe in, imagine you are walking down a short hallway inside yourself. You don't have to see it perfectly. A vague sense is enough. This hallway leads to a small doorway with your name on it. As you exhale, imagine opening that door. Inside, there is only softness. You might picture a warm lamp, a rug you like, a chair where you can curl up, perhaps a small table with a candle or a flower. This is your place. No one else's energy is allowed to decide the atmosphere here. You set the tone with your own kindness. Now, every sanctuary has a way you enter it. In churches, we might dip a finger in water. In temples, we might bow. In nature, we might take off our shoes. In your inner room, the ritual can be as simple as one breath and one gentle sentence. The breath says, "I am coming home." The sentence says, "I am welcome here." You might choose words like, "Sweetheart, I'm here," or "I'm with you now," or "I am on my own side." Each time the world feels too loud, too demanding, too confusing, you can step into this room with that small ritual, one conscious breath, one loving sentence. It doesn't take long. Your outer body might still be in the office, in the kitchen, in the car, but your inner self has slipped into the quiet room for a moment of shelter. Think of all the times in your life when you wished someone would take you into their arms and say, "It's all right, you're safe, you can rest." Perhaps sometimes that happened, and perhaps many times it did not. Now, as a grown person, you have the beautiful opportunity to give that to yourself from the inside. When you are overwhelmed, you can close your eyes for a moment, picture that room, feel your hand on your heart, and whisper, "It's all right, darling." Sit down for a moment. You don't have to solve everything right now. You are not lying to yourself. You are speaking to the part of you that is younger, more frightened, more tired. You become the loving adult your inner child has been waiting for. I want you to notice something important. The outer situation may not change in that moment. The email still needs answering. The bill still needs paying. The child still needs feeding. The grief is still there. The uncertainty still exists. But when you step into your inner room for even 30 seconds, your relationship to those things begins to soften. You are no longer a tiny, frightened figure standing alone in a storm. You are a person sitting in a safe room, looking out a window at the weather. The storm may be strong, but inside your room you can put on a sweater, make a cup of tea, and decide how you want to respond. Peace does not mean nothing difficult ever happens. Peace means you have a steady place inside to meet what happens. You might ask, Louise, how do I make this room feel real? It just feels like pretending. I understand that. When we first start imagining, the mind will tell us this is silly, this is childish, this isn't doing anything. The mind loves to dismiss what it cannot measure. But your nervous system responds to images and tone more than it responds to logic. When you picture a safe room and speak to yourself in a soothing way, your body receives those signals as real. Your breath slows down, your muscles ease, your heart rate begins to settle. You may only notice a tiny shift at first, but those tiny shifts are how we build a new baseline. You don't have to believe in your sanctuary 100% for it to help. You only have to be willing to visit it. Let's make it more concrete. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can, and ask yourself, if I had a room inside me that was truly mine, what would it look like? Don't try to make it impressive. Let it be simple. Maybe there is a big chair by a window, and outside the window you see trees or the sea. Maybe it is a small, cozy room with books and blankets. Maybe it is empty, just a clean floor and a candle. Notice the colors. Is it warm gold, soft blue, gentle cream? Notice the temperature comfortable, not too hot or cold. Notice the air fresh, light. In this room, nobody criticizes you. Nobody rushes you. Time feels slower. When you sit down here, there is nothing you should be doing. You are enough, just sitting here, breathing. Each time life feels too much, too loud, too fast, too sharp, you can remember this room and step inside for even 1 minute. If you are at your desk, you can rest your back against the chair, feel your feet on the floor, and quietly say inside, I'm going to my room for a moment. Take one soft breath in. I'm here. One soft breath out. I can rest for this moment. If you are with other people and you can't close your eyes, you can still do this internally. The beauty of an inner sanctuary is that no one can take it away from you, and you don't need anyone's permission to go there. Your peace becomes portable. Sometimes, when people try to build this inner refuge, old pain comes up. They sit in the quiet room and suddenly remember all the times they didn't feel safe, or all the ways they learned they weren't allowed to rest. If that happens to you, I want you to know that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you have finally created a quiet enough space that the old hurt feels brave enough to come forward. In those moments, instead of pushing it away, you can say, oh, sweetheart, of course you're here. You've been carrying this alone for a long time. Sit with me in this room. We have time. You are not being chased right now. You are not trying to fix the pain. You are offering it a chair and some kindness. To support this sanctuary, you can pair it with a few simple phrases, little keys that open the door. You might use, "In this moment, I am safe enough," or "Right now, I let myself rest inside," or "My heart is a soft place for me to land." You can repeat these softly as you breathe. Over time, your body will begin to associate these phrases with the feeling of being in the room. When the day is difficult, just hearing yourself think those words will help your nervous system remember, "Ah, we know that place. We can go there now." You can even decorate this room with your affirmations. Perhaps on one imaginary wall hangs, "I approve of myself." On another, "I am willing to see myself with gentle eyes." On the bedside table, "Life loves me and I am safe." You can look around and let your eyes rest on one of these sentences. Let it soak in, not as a demand, but as an invitation. In this room, there is no pressure to be positive. There is only the option to lean a little bit toward love. As you practice visiting your inner room each day, even for a few moments in the morning, a moment at lunchtime, a moment before sleep, you will notice something subtle beginning to change. The world outside may still be noisy, and your life may still have many responsibilities, but you won't feel quite so homeless inside. When something stressful happens, instead of spinning out for hours, you will remember, "I can step into my room for a moment." When you make a mistake, instead of exiling yourself, you will say, "Come in, darling. Sit down. Let's talk about it here, where it's safe." The more you become a home for yourself, the less you need the outside world to behave perfectly for you to feel all right. And that, my dear, is one of the softest, strongest forms of peace there is. You might still be sad at times, or angry, or confused. That is part of being human, but underneath, there is a floor that holds you. You know where the room is. You know how to get there. One breath, one gentle sentence, one decision to come home to yourself instead of abandoning yourself in the storm. Over and over, you will discover, "I can be my own safe place. I can be my own shelter. I can be my own home." So let this be the quiet promise you make to yourself today, as you imagine that warm little room in your heart. No matter what is happening out there, I still have a place to come home to. Finally, I want to say just a little about something most people misunderstand. Those moments when you are doing nothing. So many of you write to me or sit in my workshops and say, "Louise, I feel so guilty when I'm not productive, when I'm just sitting, when I'm just resting. I feel useless." And I want to take your sweet face in my hands, look into your eyes, and say, "My darling, those moments are not useless at all. They may be the most important moments of your day." You see, we have been trained to believe that our worth is measured by how much we do, how busy we look, how many boxes we can check off. Busyness has become a costume we wear to prove that we are valuable. But your nervous system, your beautiful body, doesn't measure worth that way. Your body is asking a very different question. Do I ever get to rest? Doing nothing is often not laziness. It is your nervous system trying to recover from a lifetime of being in overdrive. Imagine a dear friend who has been running and running and running, always on call, always on duty, and then one day she just sits down on the couch and sighs. Would you stand over her and shout, "Get up, you lazy thing"? Of course not. You would say, "Oh, sweetheart, of course you're tired. Rest. I've got you." That tired friend is your own body. It has carried you through every heartbreak, every rush, every night of poor sleep, every day you pushed past your limit. When you finally stop doing for a moment, the body doesn't think, "This person is failing." It thinks, "At last I can repair. At last I can breathe." Healing rarely happens when we are forcing, squeezing, and scheduling every second. Healing tends to happen in the spaces. It happens in the exhale, in the warm bath, in the moment you stare out a window and let your mind drift, in the quiet 10 minutes before sleep when you stop scrolling and simply feel the sheets against your skin. Those empty moments are not empty at all. They are full of repair. They are full of integration. Your being is the soil in which the seeds of your affirmations grow. If you never let the soil rest, it becomes hard and cracked. A rested soil, a softened soil, can receive water, can receive roots, can receive life. When you stop rushing, something beautiful becomes available that you cannot buy and you cannot rush. Your intuition, that small, calm voice inside that says, "Turn here, call this person, wait a little, say no now, say yes now." When you are racing in your mind all the time, you drown that voice out with noise and fear. When you slow down, even just a little, that voice becomes clearer. This is why opportunities sometimes appear when you are in the shower, or washing dishes, or taking a quiet walk. You are not doing nothing. You are creating space for wisdom to surface. Life can finally get a word in. Think of it this way. You do not need to squeeze the universe to get what is meant for you. You do not have to chase your good like a frightened child running after a bus. When you soften, when you allow even small moments of non-doing, you are saying to life, "There is room here. If you have something for me, you can place it in my hands." You stop trying to drag the river and you let the current help you. You do your part and then you give the universe a chance to do its part. I would like to give you a tiny practice you can use any day, especially on the days when you feel that terrible urge to prove yourself by overworking, overpleasing, or overperforming. I call it 1 minute of enoughness, just 60 seconds. You can spare 60 seconds for your soul. Find a place where you can sit, even on the edge of the bed, or on a chair, or on a park bench. Put your feet gently on the ground. Let your hands rest, perhaps one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, or simply resting in your lap. Choose one spot in front of you, a leaf, a corner of the table, a mark on the wall, and let your eyes rest there softly. For 60 seconds, you are not solving anything. You are not planning your future. You are not replaying the past. You are just breathing in and out, slowly, gently, as if you are rocking a baby to sleep. While you are sitting there, you can say to yourself, inside your mind. Right now, I am alive. I am breathing, and that is enough for this moment. That's all. You don't have to make it poetic. You don't have to feel a dramatic shift. You are simply practicing the radical idea that your existence has value even when you are not doing anything impressive. You are worthy in your being, not only in your doing. If you gift yourself this 1 minute a few times a day, you are teaching your nervous system a new truth. I am allowed to stop. I am allowed to rest. I am allowed to exist without performing. Over time, this little practice begins to change the flavor of your days. Instead of feeling like you are running through life with a tight chest and a clenched jaw, you begin to notice small pockets of softness. You may find yourself pausing before you say yes to something you don't want to do. You may notice that your decisions feel clearer when you've given yourself a minute to arrive in your body. You may realize that you don't have to fill every silence with noise, every pause with a task. In those pauses, peace can find you. So, as we come to the end of this time together, let's gather the threads of what we've explored. We have talked about the difference between happiness and peace, how happiness can rise and fall like a wave, while peace is more like the deep ocean beneath. We have seen that much of our suffering comes not only from what happens, but from how our minds keep replaying and extending the story. We have gently practiced the pause between breaths, the 10 seconds of awareness that can completely change the direction of our day. We have learned that choosing soft instead of right can save our relationships and our own hearts. We have explored boundaries, inner language, and the idea of becoming our own safe home. Through it all runs one simple idea. You don't have to earn peace. You can begin to choose it in very small ways, long before your life looks the way you think it should. Peace is not the prize at the end of the race. Peace is the way you walk the race. When you choose peace first, you will be surprised to see how often happiness gently joins you along the way. Now, I would like to end with some affirmations, and I invite you to treat them like a soft lullaby for your nervous system. You can close your eyes if you wish. You can place a hand on your heart, and you can repeat after me out loud or silently in your mind. Let these words move slowly, like warm honey. We will repeat each one 3 times, so the mind and body have a chance to receive them. I choose peace first. I choose peace first. I choose peace first. All is well in my world. All is well in my world. All is well in my world. Life loves me, and I am safe. Life loves me, and I am safe. Life loves me, and I am safe. I soften, and I receive. I soften, and I receive. I soften, and I receive. Just notice how your body feels after hearing these words. Perhaps only a tiny bit different. That is enough. You don't need fireworks for healing to be real. Every time you choose a gentler thought, every time you take a softer breath, every time you put your hand on your heart and say, I'm here, you are rewiring your inner world toward peace. Remember, my darling, you do not have to wait for life to calm down before you calm down. You can become the calm, and life will begin to rearrange itself around your new state. You can be the quiet in the middle of your own storm. You can be the safe room in the middle of a noisy world. You can choose peace first, again and again and again. Thank you for spending this time with me. You are doing much better than you think you are. Be gentle with yourself. Rest when you can. Speak kindly inside your own mind. Let peace sit beside you like a dear friend. Life loves you, and so do I.